You're welcome to the Policy Council. My name is Opeyemi Agbaje. Today we talk about ADR, that's Alternative Dispute Resolution. I have guests from the Lagos Court of Arbitration, a fantastic initiative in that field, with me on this program, and we'll be looking at what they do and at the conference that they're having. Enjoy the program. You're welcome back to the Policy Council. Today we're talking about arbitration, alternative dispute resolution, as the experts call it. And I have with me, someone who is going to play an important role in the future of arbitration, alternative dispute resolution in this part of the world. The president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration, Mr. Babajide Ogundipe. You're welcome to the Policy Council.
Thank you very much.
So what's the Lagos Court of Arbitration? Let's get to understand.
The Lagos Court of Arbitration is an initiative of the Lagos State Government.
Okay.
It is a statutory body established by a law of the Lagos State in 2009. The aim of the body is to promote arbitration in Lagos State, in Nigeria, the West African sub-region, and throughout Africa.
Okay.
Essentially, as you might know, arbitration is an alternative to litigation in the courts. It is done under contract. The parties agree either before they enter into their business arrangements or when a dispute arises. They agree that rather than have that dispute resolved by a court, it will be resolved by either an individual or three individuals of their choosing, who will do it in private and as quickly as possible and give them a decision. And there are a number of benefits which I can explain later.
Of course, we'll discuss that.
Yes.
But why would people want to do that? Why would you prefer this consensus arrangement, as we have come to?
Well, arbitration is not a consensus arrangement.
Okay.
I think that point needs to be clear. It is part of a number of processes through which disputes are resolved by other means other than court. You have mediation, you've got negotiation. There's a whole gamut.
Okay.
But arbitration is an adjudication.
Okay.
A decision is given. Somebody wins and somebody loses.
Okay.
Now the point is that courts, as we know, are very busy. They have a lot of work to do. And as a result of having so much work to do, there is pressure on the time of the courts. The courts are not able to give decisions in as quickly, in as speedy a manner as business people require.
Like.
So rather than spend time in court, the business people have, over the centuries, decided that we'll pick somebody who we respect. This is how commercial arbitration started. Merchants would decide that, okay, you, Mr. Opeyemi, we respect you. We have a problem and we would like you to resolve it for you. And it's like what we do in Africa. If you have a problem, you go to the elders and you ask the elders to resolve it. It's a similar sort of process.
So this is more, you would argue, more suited to the African psyche than even the courts.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because it's the courts where you have wigs, you have gowns. For example, I'm here speaking to you. See how casually I'm dressed. This is to emphasize the nature of the absence of regulation. There are regulations, but it's not as strict as courts.
And you're not bogged down with the rules of procedure and all of those things that have come to characterize the courts.
There are rules of procedure.
Okay.
We have rules of procedure, but they are not as rigid as those in the courts. And the whole process allows for a greater degree of flexibility than you will have in the court.
Okay.
This flexibility aids the speed that I've mentioned before.
Excellent. Let's take a short time out. I'm talking to Mr. Babajide Ogundipe, a senior legal practitioner, someone we all respect in the profession, and today he's the president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. It's still the Policy Council, and I'm still speaking with Mr. Babajide Ogundipe, president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration. Mr. Ogundipe, tell us about how is the Lagos Court of Arbitration organized? We know about the typical judiciary, chief judge, all of that. What's the structure of this thing you've created?
I think I need to explain that the name might give people an impression that it is a court as such. It is not a court. We chose the name for a variety of reasons. But what it is a center that organizes arbitral proceedings for people. It will shortly have a building which can serve as a venue for arbitral proceedings, mediation proceedings, and a number of other things. And it also promotes arbitration, and I believe that this is one of the things we'll be talking about as part of the promotion of arbitration. We're having a conference on the 5th of November, which I'm sure you will ask me about. So it isn't a court; it is a center that promotes arbitration and encourages people to engage in arbitration. We have a board, which is headed by me for the time being.
Who are the other members of the board?
We have several other directors. I'm very happy and I'm very proud to be the leader by their choosing of a very high-powered board of directors made up of legal practitioners with arbitration experience and finance people, people in commerce. There are a number of them. There probably too many for us to go through, but they're all very, very, very accomplished people in their various spheres. So that's the structure. Now, the reason why we think that it's very important, it was very important to have this institution in Lagos. As you know, Nigeria is the biggest economy in West Africa. There are suggestions that it will soon become the biggest economy in Africa. Lagos, the economy of Lagos, makes up a significant proportion of the economy, especially the non-oil economy of Nigeria.
Clearly.
The GDP of Lagos is higher than a number of African countries. It is, for example, higher than Ghana, it's higher than Kenya, it's higher than Cote d'Ivoire. So there's an increasing amount of infrastructure projects going on in Lagos. There's a lot of work, construction work going on in Lagos. And all these contracts, all this work, it's inevitable in social discourse, in business, that people will have disputes. So if you lumber the courts with all the disputes that are going to arise with all the work that's going on, the fact of the matter is that the courts simply won't be able to cope. So the farsightedness of the administration, the present administration of Lagos State, actually not the present one, it was the former one, it was 2009 that we were established, envisaged that they needed to put in place mechanisms, machinery, that will encourage people who want to invest in Nigeria, want to invest in Lagos, that there is a venue, there is some avenue where they can have their disputes resolved. They won't have to deal with, because a lot of the contracts are let by state governments, by federal government. So they want
an independent
mechanism. Absolutely, an independent mechanism where they will have confidence that the people that they go to will not have any sort of pressure. They are completely independent. And the beauty of it is that Nigeria and Lagos has the largest number of arbitrators, qualified arbitrators, in the whole of Africa. So Lagos was the
natural choice.
Absolutely. It was the obvious place to establish this body.
Okay, let's take another time out, and then we'll get to this conference that the LCA is organizing, and I'll still try to zero down on the economic costs and implications of a Court of Arbitration. We'll be right back.
My name is Opeyemi. I live for Lagos. You see as our new Lagos just define the good. Good thing good though. To go market now, no hard at all. Just pay. Sit down inside BRT bus. Small time, you don't reach where they go. Hospital call, the full ground. And for me and my pikin where I just born, treatment now free. You look left, you look right. Them they build new roads, new hospitals, new schools, new things everywhere. Everywhere they shine, gone. We thank God though. But come on, I hear saying that this tax money wey they pay, and then they use do all these good things. Me, I they pay my own tax too. Say they pay your own.
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
You're welcome back. It's still the Policy Council. I'm still speaking with Mr. Babajide Ogundipe, who's president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration. But now we're joined by Miss Megha Joshi. She's executive secretary and CEO of the Lagos Court of Arbitration. You're welcome to the Policy Council.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. While you settle into the program, let me ask you, Mr. Ogundipe, how are you funded? How's the Lagos Court of Arbitration funded?
We received an initial grant from the Lagos State government at takeoff, and the essence of it is that since we're established by the Lagos State government under the Lagos State law, the essence is that it needed to be established from the very outset that Lagos State government would not be involved in any way with running, maintaining the Lagos Court of Arbitration.
Okay.
So we have a grant, we had a startup grant to start us off. We have a building which the Lagos State government has assured us it will complete, it will build, furnish to the highest standards, and give us the title. We have the title to the land, and of course what is built on the land will belong to us. So that is how we are funded. The takeoff. And we will be funded from our activities. We will be administering arbitrations. We will charge fees for that. We will be organizing seminars and workshops, and we will take some funds for that. And when the building is ready, the building is a very large building, and it will be available for not just arbitration, people will pay for it, but other functions, seminars, and things of that nature. So that is how we expect to fund ourselves. In addition to that, we have the good fortune to have received a significant grant from an organization called the Investment Climate Facility for Africa, which is based in Tanzania. It receives funding from the World Bank, the European Commission, various sources, Coca-Cola, a number of commercial organizations fund that body. And that body was established, as the name suggests, to improve the investment climate in Africa, so that people will, not just from outside, but within Africa, will have the confidence to invest within Africa itself. And in order to assist the LCA and help Nigeria, this is the first ICF project in Nigeria. The ICF has given us a significant grant, which is what we're using to promote ourselves, promote our activities, and assist us until we are ready to move unaided.
Excellent. Now that takes me to this conference you are having, and I'd like Megha to join to tell us about that. You're organizing this conference, you call it Disputes Arising. It's a regional ADR conference. What's it about?
The LCA is committed to raising awareness and engagement of ADR. That's Alternative Dispute Resolution. So the purpose of this conference is to raise awareness generally in Nigeria and the West Africa region. We're very excited about it. It's on Tuesday. Okay. We've actually structured the discussion so leading general counsels and ADR practitioners will be involved in discussions around disputes arising in various different industry sectors. Okay. So we've chosen leading sectors in Nigerian business, which is energy, oil and gas, infrastructure, industry and regulatory services, and also we'll be discussing contract enforcement surrounding the New York Convention, and also we'll have our LCA roundtable, which is promoting and projecting Africa on the global arbitration map. We're quite lucky because we have the backing of some really great companies like Chevron, Stanbic IBTC, an international law firm called White & Case, and also the ICF.
Okay. For this conference.
For this conference, yes. And in addition to that, we're not a lone body, we have Friends and Supporters, which is the Chartered Institute of Nigeria and also the Chartered Arbitrators of Nigeria, the Law Society of England and Wales, and the International Senior Lawyers Project. They've all been working to help us
and this is the first one. Of course, this is your maiden outing, as it were.
We're also very, very fortunate to have a conference convener by the name of
myself. At that point, let's take a short time out, and we'll be back to give more to talk about this conference and get to know when it's taking place, those have been expected, and at the end of the day, what will be the expected takeaway from the conference. We'll be right back.
My name is Femi Durojai. Welcome to the New Lagos, where things are improving every day. I work on the island and live on the mainland, but that's no longer a problem. With improved roads, I get to walk faster. Sometimes I even leave my car and use the BRT bus, which is comfortable, fast, efficient, and reliable. After a hard day's work, the night and evenings are even more fun. The streets are better lit, and the city is more secure, so I can catch my phone in peace. I pay my taxes because I want to continue enjoying the good things a big modern city like our Lagos brings. So it's my taxes that makes them real. Have you paid your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
You're welcome back. It's my final segment with leaders of the Lagos Court of Arbitration, the President, Mr. Babajide Ogundipe, Executive Secretary and CEO, Ms. Mega Joshi. And we're talking about this LCA West Africa Regional ADR Conference. It's holding on Tuesday, 5th November, 9 a.m. at the Eco Expo Center, Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Looks like a loaded. Tell us about some of the speakers you're expecting at this conference.
We have the keynote speaker as Mr. Arnold Ekpe, who is the former group CEO of EcoBank. And he is very well respected around the world, actually, and significantly here on the continent because he pioneered EcoBank from really being a national bank to a pan-African bank. Yeah. He's one of the sort of African champions.
And he ran UBA even before he ran EcoBank, actually.
He's of a lot of credible, notable and credible accomplishments. He is also director of Nigeria's Sovereign Wealth Fund, which...
So he's the keynote. Other speakers?
Yes, the keynote. Other speakers, we have one speaker from Lagos State, Ben
Akabweze.
Yes, he's Honourable Commissioner of Budget and Economic Planning. And we have, on our energy and oil and gas panel, we have the General Counsel of Chevron, and also Rosalind Kinya from the Vice President of Tullow Oil, which is based in London. They've discovered oil in Uganda and Ghana.
And Ghana. The very first Ghanaian oil was done by Tullow Oil. They discovered oil in Uganda. They're working in Tanzania as well. In fact, they were one of the first oil companies to take a serious interest, or smaller, more independent, take a serious interest in looking for oil in places where the majors weren't particularly interested, and they've had some significant finds in Africa.
Okay, I see Eyo Ekpo from the National Electricity Regulatory Commission. He's going to be speaking.
Also on his panel is Angela Omodare. She's the General Counsel from Stanbic. On the infrastructure panel, we have Opio Oforokuma from ARM Investments. He was former CEO of the Lekki Concession Company. And we have the Vice President of the Africa Finance Corporation, who are also our sponsors. And the General Counsel of GE, General Electric, Ozuma, is joining us as well.
Okay, fantastic. So this is loaded. What do you expect? How many participants are you expecting at the...
We're expecting about over 400. I think that the interest and the level or the how many people have registered sort of closer to the conference is very encouraging. Many lawyers are interested. And also, I found that a lot of people in different business sectors who are entrepreneurs or even legal advisors in these different industries are very interested in coming.
Interesting. Let me ask you, Mr. Ogundikwe, one question I've been itching to ask. I know from what you've said, arbitration seems to make sense everywhere in the world to every businessman. But doesn't it make particularly more sense in a country in which it could take you 10 years to complete a simple case and in which government doesn't seem to work very well?
Well, arbitration is as you said, it's a useful tool. It makes sense everywhere in the world. Where you have judiciaries that are challenged with excessive work, they are not properly equipped, then it's of value to have a private sector organization or private sector mechanism that will assist them. I don't think it reflects on the judicial system itself.
Precisely.
It doesn't reflect on the judicial system itself. Arbitration is preferred in every single, you name the jurisdiction, whether it's United States, United Kingdom, in various jurisdictions in Europe. It is preferred because of its efficacy for business people, and it doesn't reflect necessarily on the judicial system.
The quality of the judicial. Okay, so LCA, the Lagos Court of Arbitration, the West Africa Regional ADR Conference, disputes arising 5th November, that's Tuesday, 9 a.m., Eco Hotel and Convention Center. It's going to be good. If you want to learn more about ADR, alternative dispute resolution, and know more about the Lagos Court of Arbitration, I would recommend you attend. We'll be right back. I think the Lagos Court of Arbitration is a very good initiative. It would domesticate some of the arbitration work that we hear goes to other centers like London and Paris and those places, and build Nigerian or indeed African capacity in the area of alternative dispute resolution. The conference that comes up on Tuesday, November 5, is a venue for understanding more about this issue. I would recommend you attend. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.